Hello and welcome. In this video, we are going to be talking about joins, the different types of joins, and how we can use them. At the end of this video, it's expected that we should understand the concept of joins, know the different types of joins, and how we can apply them in queries. And then also, we're going to extend to talking about unions. So we're going to learn about how we use joins and the different types of joins, and then unions as well. So let's jump right into it. What are joins? What are joins really? Joins basically are used to combine columns from one or more tables based on the values of the common column. So at some point when working in a database, you would need to get data from more than one table to for some reason. And that this is where joins come in. An example is on the slide. We have two tables, subject and lecturer. And if we're interested in getting the first name and the last name of each lecturer for each subject, as we can see here, we would need to look at two different tables. We need to look at the subject tables where we can get the subject names, and we'd also need to look at the lecturer table where we can get the first name and the last name. So we're going to be combining two different tables just to get our results. And this is where joins come in. Now remember, when querying one table, we use our normal select from, and then maybe subject. If you're interested in the subject table, select blah 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 from subject. That's how we query one table. But now that we are querying from two tables, a special keyword comes in. And then you can see it in the second when we are querying multiple tables. Say select blah blah from subject, join lecturer. So we are joining subject table and the lecturer table together. Now, but this is not enough. It doesn't just stop there when I say select star from subject table, join the other table. We have to tell Postgres how to join the subject table or the first table with the second table. And that's where another keyword comes in. And you will see that keyword is the on keyword. And the on keyword specifies to Postgres which column or which field should be used to join both tables together. So in this case, in this example, would like Postgres to take a look at the lecturer ID in the subject table, and then in turn find the matching IDs in the lecturer table. So you can see my illustration right there. For everywhere lecturer ID is 1, that's in Introduction to Algebra and Advanced Geometry, where lecturer ID is 1, it should match with ID on the lecturer's table, and then that's John Smith. So basically, this is how the on keyword works. So you can see what I said: select star from subject, join lecturer on subject dot lecturer ID. So that's lecturer ID on the subject table equals to ID on the lecturer's table. So it's usually select your columns from your first table, in this case subject, join your second table, in this case lecturer, on the matching columns on both tables. So in this case, it's lecturer ID on the subject table and ID on the lecturer's table. And that's, so the syntax is the table name dot the column. So that's why it's subject dot lecturer ID, that's subject on the subject table, lecturer ID column, equals to lecturer, that's the table, dot ID, that's the column name. So as an example, if I say select subject dot name, so now this is something you should note. I want the name from the subject table, so it has to be table name dot column name. So I'm selecting subject dot name, lecturer dot first name. So that's first name from the lecturer table. So I'm selecting first name from the lecturer table, and lecturer dot last name from subject, that's my subject table. Then join lecturer on subject.lecturer ID equals lecturer.id. We spoke about this. We said we always join on the matching ID. If I run that query, I'm going to get this result at the base here. And there are some things you should note. So on my subject table, Introduction to Algebra has lecturer ID 1, which would match with 1 on the lecturer table as well. So that means that says that the first name for the guy teaching Introduction to Algebra is John Smith. For Advanced Geometry also, is also lecturer ID 1, which is also John Smith, if you check the lecturer table. For Object Programming, it's lecturer ID 2, which is Alan James. But you would notice that we don't have, in our results here, we don't have German pronunciation. And the reason is this: it does not have a lecturer ID that would match with anything on the lecturer table. So that's removed from our results. Also, you would also notice that we don't have any Kate Mackenzie in our result as well. And that's because there's nobody on the subject table that has the lecturer ID 3. So the join would only take where there is a match between the first table and the second table on those matching columns. If there's no match, it excludes those particular rows. But then there's a way to escape it, and that's actually in more advanced topic. There's a way to actually exclude it, and the other ones would show up. We'll be discussing that later. For now, we're just discussing the basics of joins. So there are different types of joins, and we'll be discussing them in subsequent videos. There's the inner join, there's the left join, there's the right join, there's the outer join, there's the cross join, there's natural join, and all kinds of join. There's also a self join. So we'll be discussing them in subsequent videos. We're trying them out also in pgadmin, just to build muscle memory as well. So stay tuned and see you in the next video.